Hello, everybody. It's me, Rico, back again. I finally got the 2021 Toyota Corolla LE back off a trip. Uh, Goodly enough, it's set to go back out this Friday for another trip for the whole weekend. The guy told me he would probably return it back this Sunday late sometime. But anyway, I got the car back. Thought I would give you some pros and cons of what I've experienced with the whole TURO thing, and it hadn't been too bad. Just like any business, getting it off the ground. This would be my really second, maybe third business getting off the ground. And like any business, there's startup costs, and some of the startup costs have been not too bad, but barring the price of the car itself was at 19,100 and something and some change. So I just say $19,000 out the door. Let me give you some cons about what I've ran into with TURO. Not bad, but again, it's just the cost of doing business in the startup. TURO itself, the platform, I like. It's not bad. It needs some improvement in some areas, but anyway, I'm just going to give you some of the things that I've ran into right now. Okay, here's some of the cons. I wrote them down so I can stay kind of consistent. One of the first cons, rookie mistake. Hey, when I bought this car right here, that's behind me, the Corolla, if you guys can see it, but not really a big deal. But anyway, when I bought this car, one of the mistakes I made was it did not have a spare key. So the people I bought it from, for whatever reason, didn't have a spare key. So they told me it'd be cheap to go get, and I thought the same thing. It's just a Toyota Corolla, and it's a switchblade type key that, you press the button and it pops out, and no push button start. So I was like, hey, it's probably a common key. But little did I know, that key is very hard to get. It's like an H model key, and costs like about 150, 170 something dollars for just the key by itself. And then the program is another, depending on where you take it, anywhere from $75 on up to $125 or so. So that was an issue. So I was trying to avoid going to the dealer to get that key and tried to order it online on eBay. Long story short, I ended up going through a couple different keys used and, well, supposedly new aftermarket ones don't work. If you're going to buy one from a guy on eBay or somebody on eBay, buy a key that is matched up with the serial number and the frequencies and all that good stuff, so you won't have a problem. So long story short, I found a key for like $29 out the door, and it was supposedly it was OEM, and I got my local Toyota dealership program for about $75. So not out of too much money, over $100, but that took me a total of 3 weeks just to make that happen. And I had the car just a little bit over a month right now. So that was a pain in the butt. Do not do that. So, and anyway, I watched a lot of the YouTubers. This is not a con, but this is another cost of doing business. Meaning YouTubers on TURO that talked about their, pros and cons for renting out a car on TURO. So the other issue I had, one real issue for me, because again, like I told you guys, I'm an electrical engineer, so I do little projects like this, well, wiring up stuff. So they said track the car. One of the main thing is track the car. So the first thing I scrambled to do, because as soon as I posted this car on TURO, it was rented out within, I don't know, I wasn't even on there 3 or 4 days, and it was rented out, and I had to start scrambling to try to get a tracking device before I let it go out. I think I had it for about a week, and I posted it a few days after I got it, and it rented out that next week. But anyway, I got this tracker, and I didn't understand what I was getting, because I thought it did everything in this one particular app called CarLink, will unlock the doors and everything, but it didn't. It only tracked the car. Come to find out, I needed another device that would remotely unlock and lock the doors. That was another tip that another TURO person had gave. So if this car was upper trim, I could have done that with the Toyota app, but it it's not the upper trim. So long story short on that, I spent about a total of about 300 and something dollars, maybe about $350 for the device to unlock the car remotely and lock it remotely, and the device to track and device. So all that together was roughly about $350, and I wired it in myself. But the first device I got was the tracker, because the guy that rented the car took it to Florida, but it worked great. I was able to see pretty much everywhere he was, especially when he stopped. I got the last known position. Either way, I got the last known position. So that CarLink app works great, but that was an expense out of my pocket. So again, that was the cost of doing business. So kind of a con, but that's what you got to deal with. Okay, some of the other things I had. Let me look at my list. Which I've experienced. Okay. Also, I forgot I had to buy floor mats. I got the rubber floor mats from talking to some guys at the body shop that have been doing this type of stuff for a while. So I got the rubber floor mats. I think that cost me about another $125. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is I'm in the hole, but there's a positive silver line. I haven't gotten to the pros yet. So got that, and the insurance, I had to add it on to the insurance, which I'm going to break that out to my own, get it off my personal insurance later as I form this LLC, which I haven't had time to really work on. Just coming up with a name has been one of the minor things. But anyway, when I switched this over, I talked to a buddy of mine that owns a car dealership, and he was walking me through what to do to make this a pure rental car company, and how to I'll just say not to pay as much taxes. So it's a learning experience, but so that was one of the downsides right there. Like I said, those upfront expenses, and this one's a pet peeve of mine, and I like to keep my cars clean. But anyway, prior to you sending a car out on Turo, it needs to be clean. So spent a lot of time doing that, cleaning it up. I've done this one at least about twice. So what's bit me in the butt, or bit me in the ass, plainly put, is that for whatever reason, not all the trips, I've done a total of 5 trips, and at least 2 or 3 of them, I say 3 of them, I'm not saying who, male or female, but 2 of the trips have been, 3 of the trips have been returned without being clean. And so what I've learned is I created this checklist, what I call departure checklist, like basically check the basics: lights, wipers, horns, overall condition of the car, just making sure the basic stuff works on the car. And so I'm putting on this checklist now that if car is not clean when you return it, or full of gas, they do the full of gas part, no problem, but the cleaning it, some of the people haven't returned it clean. And what that does is that takes, more time out of my schedule to get the car clean. I can sanitize it too, so that's a part of the cleaning process. So all that just adds more time to me. And I also decided to get this membership in one of these magic tunnel like things, car washes, for $24 for a month. I can wash the car basically once a day, every day, for the next month or so. So I'll try that for right now. So that's another cost right there, is added up. So that's more of the cons on this side of the Turo. Let's see, did I get everything? Buy the car with 2 keys. Oh yeah, cosmetic damage. When it comes back, a few of the clients have had minor cosmetic damage, but the car itself has some minor cosmetic damage. Not overall body damage, but I thought one of the client had put a dent in the hood, and come to find out, the pictures I took were so detailed, Turo came back and say it was there the previous 2 trips. So it's a dent in the hood that's so hard to see. You have to be at a certain angle to see it. And so it's one of those type of, it's not a showstopper, but it's just something that, I don't like, but it's very minor. I'll fix it later. Right now I'm trying to make this thing cash flow. And with that, let me get into the pros. Okay, guys, let's go over some of the pros of what I've done with this car, and according to Turo, what I made so far in expenses. According to Turo, I made a total in my pocket, not their expenses, of $624. I've owned this car for about a month, so I'm pretty much on the upside. Also, considering my car payment is only $312, so I've been able to pay that car payment out of the money I've gotten from Turo. So that's been paid. Taxes have came up. I pretty much paid that out of my pocket. It was a good $333. But so far, I'm on the upside. I don't know how many of you guys know Robert Kiyosaki, but I follow him. His method of getting the asset is using that asset to use other people's money, other people's time. And so far, so good. And that has been paying off for this car. So it's working great. Let's see what else. Maintenance costs with trips. So far, the maintenance costs that I'm going to incur, that's going to be paid for out of the trips. I have 2 more trips coming up for at least another $217 according to Turo. That's not including a church trip I have coming up for another $235 outside of Turo. So I'm going to rent that to a buddy of mine and let him go out to Texas. So my plan is prior to that trip to take this car and have some maintenance done on it, meaning the basic oil change, synthetic, of course, along with rotating and balancing the tires. And I'll get Toyota to check it out before that long road trip out to Texas. But so far, so good. And that's been some of the upsides. So like I said, no issues with Turo, with paying the money. They roughly, after a trip's complete, I would say you get your money in a day and a half or two at the max. It'll be deposited in your checking account. So right now it's been working like clockwork. Haven't had any real issues. I get my money from Turo. So that's been coming in like clockwork. Like I said, the car is cash flowing. Right now, I would say I'm probably about a negative, maybe $1,000 in the hole overall, just given some of the things that I had to do to the car. You know, it's overhead expenses to get it going. So that's not bad. I plan to make that money back in the next 2 to 3 months, get it out of the hole. But my primary plan is to make it cash flow, make the car payment, and any extra money I'm going to I will take that and put it on the principal. I would like to pay this off within a year and hopefully get another one. I'll probably buy another Toyota Corolla. I'm a big fan of Toyota because their reliability is second to none. Basically, yes, these cars do break, but the selling point is they break down at longer intervals. They don't break down on short-term intervals. I might be 30, 40,000 miles before I have some type of I don't even call it a major issue, but before something happens. So I like the what we call in engineering mean time between failures. Yeah, mean time between failures. So the mean time between failure intervals are very high. So meaning it's going to take a longer time for this car to break down, and that's something that works into my business model. Less cash out of my pocket to do maintenance and repairs, and the more that I can keep this car out on the road, the more it makes me money. So that's the big deal. I bought this car to not stay here in the garage, but go out and make some money. One little minor thing I wanted to talk about. Last night I did kick out a little bit more money. I bought some metal door edge guards. I've used them before on my other cars. They work great. They help with dings and stuff like that on the edge of the door. And I bought some molding, side molding, to go on the car too, to help protect the side of the car. So I think that's a good investment. Probably spent over 300 and something dollars total on that, but that's going to help protect the car and make it easier on me. So I can keep this thing going out because this business looks is important. So that's a key thing. But overall, I'm enjoying the experience. I'm going to keep going with it. Like I said, if I can get it paid off within a year, I'm going to repeat, rinse again, and just do it all over again with another Toyota and just keep the process going. Okay, guys, thanks. I think I've covered everything. Let's try to make sure I didn't leave off anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the pros. So far so good. Thanks, guys. Before I go, this is the Corolla. It's in the garage right now. Let's see if I can back it out a little bit. Anyway, it's in the garage right now. It's getting ready to go back out. Uh, Not bad overall. No real damages, nothing major. So far, so good.